Incredible moment. Single mom rescues drowning billionaire, now he is desperate to find her. 3 years later. The sun hung high in the brilliant blue sky, the kind of summer afternoon that tugged at the soul, perfect for a rare day off. Sarah, a 32-year-old single mom, was finally giving herself and her spirited 7-year-old son, Ethan, a day of fun. The air was thick with laughter as they splashed in the glistening lake, the water cooling their sun-kissed skin. Little Ethan's giggles danced over the waves, while Sarah's heart filled with love and warmth. Suddenly, their joy shattered as they glimpsed a figure struggling in the water. Panic surged through Sarah as she recognized the danger in his flailing arms. Without a moment's hesitation, she dove into the lake, her heart racing as adrenaline coursed through her veins. She fought against the current to reach him, each stroke a battle, her instincts kicking in. This man needed saving, and instinctively, she knew she couldn't let him drown. Her fingers grasped the man and pulled him back toward the shore with sheer determination. As they emerged, gasping and sputtering, his imposing frame loomed over her. Ethan stood at the edge, wide-eyed, admiring his mother's bravery. "You're a hero, Mama," he shouted, his tiny voice filled with awe. Breathless, Sarah managed a weak smile just before the man, a billionaire named Alex, slipped away into the world of privilege, leaving her with nothing but a heart filled with pride and an unconscious hope that someday, somehow, their worlds might collide again. Back in her little town, life resumed its usual rhythm. Shifts at the diner were long and exhausting. Cleaning homes took a toll on her back and spirit, but Sarah stood strong, her values of resilience and dedication steaming in her core. Yet, beneath her brave facade, deep anxieties gnawed at her. The worries of not providing enough for Ethan haunted her. How could she build a future for her little boy when the weight of the world seemed too heavy on her shoulders? However, her unwavering determination did not go unnoticed. The tight-knit community wrapped its arms around her, providing support through friendship and kindness. They brought meals on rough days and offered a listening ear. Each small act sparked hope in Sarah's heart. She wasn't alone in her journey. As the years whispered by, a soft bond grew between her and the community, stitched together by shared struggles. Meanwhile, Alex lay in a lavish apartment, confined by his thoughts. After his near drowning, he felt a profound shift in perspective. Who was the woman that saved him? He could not shake her from his mind. Months turned into years, searching for Sarah, transformed from gratitude into an obsession. He longed to understand her, to celebrate her courage, and to thank her for the second chance she had gifted him. 3 years later, destiny forced their paths to converge at a charity event where Alex was the keynote speaker. Clutching his breath, he scanned the crowd for her familiar face, heart racing as he stepped into the spotlight. His speech bordered on desperation, each word an echo of the past. As Sarah watched from the sidelines, surprise and apprehension swirling in her chest as he finally locked eyes with her. A powerful connection sparked alive between them, igniting a cascade of emotions that left the air electric. She was everything he admired. He needed to thank her, but would she ever trust a man from such a different world? In that charged moment, the layers, boundaries, and expectations of their separate lives were laid bare. Would they find a way to bridge the chasm between their realities? Or would their pasts and prejudices keep them apart forever? Only time would tell, but one truth echoed in both their hearts. This was just the beginning of a transformative journey. The applause faded, but the silence that followed was deafening. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest as she stood frozen among the swirling crowd. She felt exposed, as if the spotlight had shifted entirely onto her. Waves of emotion washed over her: joy, fear, and a hint of anger. Why did he have to look at her like that? Like she was the only person in the room. Alex stepped down from the podium, the microphone still echoing in the background as he approached her, an all-consuming determination in his eyes. She took a breath, her instincts warning her to retreat, to hide from the weight of their past. Memories of that day by the lake rushed back, and it was hard to separate the man he had been from the man he had become. "Sarah," he said, his voice low, almost shaky from the rush of emotions he'd just shared on stage. Each syllable felt like a weight pressing down on her. Alex, she replied, the name slipping out before she could catch it. She held his gaze, trying to gauge his intentions, a mix of curiosity and apprehension swirling through her. I searched for you. I needed to find you, he said. And she could see sincerity in his eyes. There was something open and vulnerable beneath the polished exterior. You saved me. You gave me a second chance at life. 3 years is a long time to wait for a thank you, she retorted, her voice sharp. It was a defense mechanism, a way to shield her vulnerable heart from the storm of emotions that threatened to pull her in. Most people just send a card, you know. I'm not like most people, he stated, his voice filled with urgency. You have to understand I can't stop thinking about that day. I had everything, yet I was drowning in my own life. You pulled me out. I need to understand you, Sarah. His eyes searched her face, but doubt danced at the edges of her heart. Did he really want to know her? Or was he simply fascinated by the momentary savior he imagined her to be? What is it that you want from me, Alex? She asked, crossing her arms tightly, feeling oddly as if she should stand her ground. The memories of his world, a world of endless possibilities, danced behind her eyelids. It was a place she had only glimpsed but knew she could never belong to. I want to know who you are. I want to thank you properly. He hesitated, like a man standing on the edge of the unknown. The crowd around them faded into the background, losing their clamor and confusion as if it were just the two of them in that moment. Why now? She finally asked, the tension from her arms still holding on, unwilling to let go. The question hung in the air, charged with significance. Because I finally understand what was at stake, he replied, his voice thick with emotion. And I want to share my life with you and Ethan. Her heart leaped at the mention of her son. Ethan's laughter, his innocent dreams, all that she had worked so hard for. Could she really risk that for something so uncertain, so fraught with complications? Before she could reply, a voice erupted from the retreating crowd. Alex, there you are. We need to discuss your next project. A woman, clad in designer clothes, swept towards them, her tone sharp with urgency. Sarah's heartbeat quickened. She felt that familiar instinct to recede. Was this it then? The moment where everything shifted and yet nothing truly changed? Please, let me take you out, Alex started again. But the invitation hung in the air, heavier than before. Just give me time, she replied finally, stepping back, her heart splitting between hope and caution. As she turned to walk away, the weight of potential futures and cruel realities collided behind her. Would she ever have the courage to reopen that door? What was waiting for her on the other side? And as the sounds of the event surrounded her, she couldn't shake the feeling that she stood at a precipice. One step could launch them both into a world unknown. Would she dare take that leap? The noise of the event faded into a dull roar as Sarah walked away, the pounding of her heart drowning out the voices around her. Each step felt heavier, laden with the weight of choices she had yet to make. She glanced back over her shoulder, catching a fleeting glimpse of Alex. He was still talking to the woman in designer clothes, but his eyes searched the crowd, searching for her. She felt a flush of anger. Why did he get to feel so entitled to just walk back into her life? 3 years had slipped by, each day building walls around her heart. Life had taught her to protect herself fiercely, that as she reached the exit, her thoughts spiraled. Images of Ethan filled her mind. He was her safe harbor. Every moment they shared, every laugh and every struggle, had crafted a world that was theirs alone. It had not been easy, not by any stretch. She had weathered storms, journeyed through desolation, and emerged stronger. But it wasn't just about her anymore. It was about what Alex's reappearance could mean for Ethan. Mom? The voice cut through her reverie. Ethan stood taller than she remembered, his freckled face beaming with excitement. The glow from the event's lights illuminated his hair, making him look almost ethereal. Did you see him? He was amazing. Sarah crouched, meeting his gaze, and forced a smile. Yeah, he was something else. Are we going to see him? Ethan's eyes sparkled with hope. The question twisted like a knife. She hesitated. Ethan, it's complicated. Why? You helped him, right? He saved his life. Ethan's innocence struck a chord deep within her. It's not that simple, sweetheart, she replied, glancing away. The crowd, full of life and laughter, felt oppressive. People change and we can't always trust what we remember. I don't care. I want to meet him, Ethan insisted, stepping closer, his tone a mix of determination and youthful idealism. In that moment, Sarah felt her resolve waver. How could she protect him from her past choices? The conversations they had about strong morals and understanding others swirled in her mind. Was she denying him the chance to know someone who had meant so much to her? And what if the risks outweighed the potential reward? She took a deep breath, her instincts clashing in a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. Suddenly, her phone buzzed violently in her pocket. Pulling it out, she saw a message flash on the screen. Alex, I can't let you walk away again. Let us talk. Her heart raced. Was he truly willing to invest in more than just nostalgia? Was he ready to explore the tangled web of their past? Mom? Ethan nudged her, pulling her from her thoughts. Ethan, I need you to promise me something, she said slowly, looking into his trusting eyes. You have to be open-minded. This is bigger than just us. What do you mean? He asked, his brow furrowing. It's about trust, Sarah whispered, the doubt echoing in her voice. Before she could explain further, the noise shifted, and Alex appeared at her side, his presence almost magnetic. Can we talk? He asked, his voice a whisper meant just for her. Tension hung thick in the air, palpable. Sarah's mouth felt dry, and her heart pounded loudly in her ears. Would she really take that leap? Ethan's eyes darted between them, excitement bubbling just beneath the surface. Right now? She asked, her voice barely above a murmur. Please, his eyes were earnest, and she saw the vulnerability there. I need you to understand I want to be in your life. Both of you. Each declaration hit harder than she anticipated. How had it come to this, standing in a juncture of her past and future? Okay, she found herself saying, though her heart wavered with every syllable. Would they be able to navigate this new reality together? As they walked away from the event, towards an uncertain future, Sarah's mind buzzed with questions. Could they truly build something solid from the remnants of their shared history? And with the night stretching out before them, filled with endless possibilities, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that all of it was just the beginning. What awaited them. Around the next corner, the cool night air brushed against Sarah's skin as they stepped outside, the city lights twinkling like stars caught in a web of concrete. Ethan clasped her hand tightly, his small fingers seeking comfort in her warmth. She could feel the tension radiating from Alex, who walked beside her, a towering figure shadowed by the weight of unspoken words. Where do you want to go? Alex asked, breaking the silence that stretched between them. I don't know, Sarah stammered, glancing at Ethan, whose eyes were wide with curiosity. Maybe we should find a quieter place to talk? Good idea, Alex replied, his voice steady, but she detected a hint of apprehension. He led the way, and they soon found themselves in a small park, trees swaying gently under the moonlight. The whisper of leaves surrounded them, a calming backdrop to the storm that brewed in her heart as they sat on a bench. Ethan looked up at Alex, a blend of admiration and uncertainty flickering across his face. You really saved my mom, didn't you? He asked, sincere and unguarded. Alex's gaze softened, and a small smile broke through the tension. I tried my best, he replied, his eyes drifting to Sarah, who was still grappling with what to say. Ethan, I need you to remember something, Sarah began, her voice caught between reassurance and fear. What happened in the past, it was complicated. Ethan nodded, processing her words. But you said he saved you, right? That's good. It is, she agreed, feeling a surge of pride for her son's natural wisdom. But people can change in ways that can be hard to understand. I want you to be careful. Is that why you didn't want to talk to him? Ethan's question cut through her like a knife. Are you scared? Sarah's throat tightened. I didn't mean to scare you. I just want to protect you. I'm not a kid anymore, Mom. I can handle this, he said, an edge of frustration edging into his tone. His determination mirrored the weight of choices Sarah had made, choices she now had to confront. Alex shifted in his seat, tentatively entering the conversation. Ethan, I know your mom has been trying to keep you safe, and she has every right to be cautious. But I'm here because I want to be part of your lives. I want to make things right. Why now? Sarah blurted, turning towards Alex, her voice trembling with emotion. What changed? He inhaled deeply, his brow furrowing. I've had time to think. I realized I was selfish. I had everything but didn't take responsibility for how I left things. I lost you, and it hurt more than I anticipated. Her heart ached at his confession. He looked genuine, like he truly understood the gravity of what he'd done. Yet a part of her struggled to believe it. A voice in the back of her mind whispering that trust takes time, and time has never been on her side. Can you ever forgive me? Alex's voice was almost a whisper, laden with vulnerability. I want to show you that I've changed, that I can be better not just for me, but for you and Ethan. But I need a chance. Mom? Ethan's voice broke through the heavy silence, filled with hope conflicting with her caution. Can we give him a chance? Just one? Caught in a whirlwind of emotions, Sarah's breath hitched in her throat. Would it be fair to Ethan to deny this connection? But could she risk the possibility of heartbreak once more? As she looked at Ethan's eager face, and then at the man who had once filled her life with joy and sorrow, she felt the weight of decisions ahead press upon her. Could we start with just a conversation? Sarah asked, feeling the fragile thread of hope begin to weave between them. Absolutely, Alex replied, relief flooding through his features. But as they sat there under the dim glow of the park light, questions lingered. Would this be the dawn of something new, or the reopening of old wounds? With her heart racing, Sarah felt the ground shifting beneath her. What if choices made now carried greater implications than she could anticipate? The night was far from over, and she couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of a path fraught with challenges. What would happen if the shadows of their past refused to stay buried? The park was quiet, save for the distant sounds of the city that felt like a world apart. The weight of the moment hung heavy in the air, thick with unsaid words and the tension of past mistakes. Sarah took a breath, trying to calm the storm inside her. She could feel Ethan's hand still gripping hers, an innocent lifeline connecting them through uncertain waters. Breaking the silence, she looked deep into Alex's eyes. What exactly do you see happening here? You want to get back into our lives? But how do we know it won't hurt us again? Alex's expression shifted from relief to earnestness, as if he was scared to lose this chance. I know I don't deserve your trust, but I promise you I've changed. I've spent months reflecting on everything. I want to earn both your trust, one step at a time. Ethan deserves more than that, Sarah said, the protective instinct flaring again. He deserves a stable life, one free from fear or uncertainty. Trust me, I want that too, Alex replied softly. For all of us. I want him to know he has a family, that he is not alone in this. Do you really think you can just waltz back into our lives? Sarah challenged, her heart panging with the anger and hurt she had buried deep down. Maybe not just waltz in. I know it's complicated, he answered, rubbing the back of his neck, a habit she recognized from their past. But I'm willing to work for it, to show you both, to prove that I can be the person you need. Ethan leaned forward, his voice breaking the heaviness that loomed. Mom, can't we give him a chance? I mean, I don't want to feel like I'm hiding from someone who wants to be around us. The hope in his voice tugged at Sarah's heart. She turned slightly to face him, trying to mask her worry with a reassuring smile. Just a chance? That's all you're asking for? Just a conversation? Ethan echoed, mirroring the sentiment they had just voiced. His innocence reminded her why she had fought so hard to keep things stable for him. It can't be just talk, though, she said, turning back to Alex, searching his eyes for the truth. If we do this, it has to be real. No more games. If you break that trust again, I don't know what I'll do. I understand, he replied, his face serious. I won't take this for granted. Just give me the opportunity to prove that I'm not that guy anymore. A small flicker of hope ignited in her, yet she felt a wave of apprehension wash over her. Was it really possible to rebuild what had been shattered? As a slight breeze brushed through the trees, causing leaves to dance in the moonlight, Sarah closed her eyes for a moment. It was a chance to rewrite an ending. Maybe this time it would be different. Okay, she finally said, her voice steady, yet laced with anxiety. We can start with some kind of conversation. If that's what you really want, Alex. Thank you, he said, relief flooding his features. But as they sat there, Sarah, Ethan, and Alex, she couldn't shake off the lingering doubts. This step forward could lead to beautiful new beginnings or reopen scars that had barely started to heal. She looked at her son, still hopeful, and then at Alex, questioning whether he had the capacity to fulfill the promise he had just made. Just know, Sarah said slowly, this won't be easy for any of us. We have a lot to figure out. I'm ready, Alex replied simply, yet there was an unspoken plea in his eyes. They exchanged tentative glances, an unsteady truce forming in the shadows of possible futures. But deep inside, Sarah wondered how much darkness could still echo from their past. Could the shadows of their mistakes truly be banished, or would they loom larger than ever with even a single misstep? The night as still as ever, she felt that they had only touched the tip of the iceberg in their tangled histories. Would they find a way to navigate the depths, or would they drown in their own fears? The next day brought a different kind of quiet. The park felt different under the morning sun, bright and full of promise. But to Sarah, it was just another day, one filled with apprehension. When she arrived home, Ethan was still buzzing with excitement from last night. He had already flipped through their old family albums, laughing at the pictures of a now distant past, while conversing animatedly about possible futures with his father. Mom, look at this one, Ethan called out, pointing to a photo of them at a beach. The blue waves crashed behind them as they all smiled, the sun reflecting in their eyes. We should do something like this again, maybe even with Dad. Her heart sank. Could they really get to that point? Could she see Alex as more than just a source of pain? The moment she had agreed to talk with him loomed over her like a dark rain cloud, ready to unleash. Ethan, it's great you're feeling positive, but she started, searching for the right words. But what? He furrowed his brow, his excitement dimming. You think it's a bad idea? I don't know if he has really changed, honey, she confessed, shifting her weight from foot to foot. It's just hard to let go of the past. Maybe it's worth a shot. People mess up sometimes, right? His voice rose with conviction. You always say we need to give people chances in life. Not everyone deserves a second chance, she murmured, feeling her chest tighten. SNT, that why we're talking to him? The conversation was spiraling into uncomfortable territory. And just then, Sarah's phone buzzed, breaking the moment. It was a text from Alex asking to meet. Today. Just to talk. Could she even manage to have a civil discussion? Okay, she said finally, trying to sound a bit more put together than she felt. We'll give him a chance. But I need you to promise me something. What? Ethan asked, hopeful again. You'll listen to me if it feels wrong. If he doesn't understand our boundaries, we're out. He nodded firmly. Promise. Together, right? Together, she affirmed, allowing a small smile to crack her concern. As they prepared to leave, she felt attached to Ethan in a way that pulled her forward amid her swirling doubts. He was the guiding light navigating the fear and uncertainty. The coffee shop was soft and warm, the scent of fresh brew mixing with something sweet. Alex was already sitting at a corner table when they arrived. His face was a mix of nervousness and hope, so different from the man she remembered. For a moment, she hesitated. But then Ethan gave her a gentle nudge, reminding her of the promise they had made. Hey, Alex greeted, standing to pull out a chair for her, a practiced gesture from days long gone. Hi, she replied, her voice barely louder than a whisper. Ethan slid into the seat beside her, his body language radiating eagerness. They sat there for a beat or two, drinks steaming in front of them, as the silence wrapped around them. After a moment, Alex cleared his throat, looking directly at her. I appreciate you both being here. I know it's not easy, but I need you to know, I'm ready to show you both that I can be different. A spark of something flickered in Sarah's chest. Was it a glimmer of hope or just a cautious curiosity? Show us? She asked, the bit of skepticism edging her question. It's about action, not just words, he replied earnestly, leaning forward. I have a plan. I want to be involved in Ethan's life. And with that, Sarah felt the walls she had built start to tremble. Could Alex really be different this time? But then a nagging thought crept in, uninvited. What if this was just another ploy? What if past mistakes were meant to repeat themselves? As she looked into Alex's eyes, searching for sincerity, she couldn't shake the feeling that everything hung by a thread. One misstep could sink them all again. What if, just when they thought they were moving forward, the past decided to rear its head once more? Ethan sat up a little straighter, sensing the tension that crackled in the air. It was palpable, like the moment before a storm. Sarah stole another glance at Alex, wanting to see beneath his polite mask. What if he only wanted to play the father role for appearances, and then vanish again into the shadows, like a ghost long after the lights had dimmed? I've missed out on so much, Alex said, his voice shaky. I don't deserve forgiveness, but I want to earn it. Starting today. Sarah felt 1,000 emotions curl around her heart. Anger mixed with fear and the tiniest flicker of hope. Could she really trust him? What's the plan? Ethan interjected, breaking the thick silence. His eyes shimmered with hope, his trust in Alex unblemished by the past. Alex glanced at Ethan and then back to Sarah, as if gauging her reaction. I want to meet with you both regularly. I want to be present, not just a name on paper or a face in the crowd. I want to help with school, show up for Ethan's activities. But I also want to talk. Really talk. About what happened and why it matters. Talk? Sarah repeated, disbelief tainting her tone. Do you really think words will make a difference? What about all the hurt you caused? Words are the first step, Alex said, leaning closer, his earnestness palpable. After that, it's about proving myself. If I'm not there for you, then I don't deserve a place in your lives. Ethan's gaze darted between them, his excitement fading as he absorbed the weight of the conversation. Dad, do you really mean it? You're not just saying what we want to hear, are you? Alex ran a hand through his hair, the gesture almost nostalgic, a flicker of the man he once was. I mean it, son. I know I've said many things in the past that didn't mean a damn thing, but this time it's different. I want to be part of this family again. To show you I can change. Sarah's heart twisted painfully, remembering the moments when Alex's presence had felt like a prison rather than a fortress. The nights spent wondering if he'd come home. The days filled with silence where hope flickered like a dim candle. But there was something genuine in his eyes now. And what if you slip? She asked quietly, challenging him. What if we open ourselves up and find you haven't truly changed? What do we do then? We walk away, Alex replied without hesitation. Together, you have my word. The tension in the air thickened, as they carefully tread an uncharted path. Ethan looked at his mother, a silent plea in his gaze, hoping she could find a shred of the faith he felt. After a moment, Sarah sighed, her heart pounding at the thought of hope blooming even amidst the weeds of uncertainty. Okay, let us start with once a week. Just us, together. You want to be in Ethan's life? This is the first step. Ethan's eyes lit up, hope flooding his features. Yes, that sounds perfect. As Sarah agreed, the tiniest flicker of warmth emerged in Alex's expression. It was fragile, both promising and terrifying. But just as the tension began to ease, a girl at the next table burst into laughter, shattering the moment like glass. Their shared smiles faltered, and in that instant, the air felt heavy again. Unbidden, an old fear crept into Sarah's mind. What if she let her guard down, only to have it come crashing back down around her? Let us take this one step at a time, she said, her voice steady despite the quaking of her heart. And as they left the coffee shop, bracing for the world outside, she knew that though they might not have the map for the road ahead, they had just made a tentative choice to travel it together. But would their new path really lead to a brighter place, or would it unravel back into darkness? As they stepped outside, a sudden gust of wind rushed past them, sweeping Sarah's hair back, leaving her to wonder. Was it a sign of change or merely the past whispering warnings in her ear? The wind felt alive, pushing Sarah forward as if nudging her into the unknown. Ethan walked beside her, his youthful energy a tether to hope. They crossed the street, the sounds of city life buzzing around them. But inside, Sarah felt a storm brewing. Was she really ready to step onto this uncertain path? Mom? Ethan's voice broke through her thoughts, pulling her back. Do you think he'll really keep his word? There was a mix of worry and anticipation in his blue eyes. Sarah glanced down at her son. I hope so, Ethan. I really do. But we have to be careful. We can't just take him at face value. But what if he means it this time? Ethan's voice was soft, the eagerness almost pleading. He looked serious back there. Her heart sank at the thought. She wanted nothing more than to believe. But every time they had believed before, it had only led to more hurt. People say things, honey. Sometimes they don't understand the impact of their words. It's what they do next that matters. The truth of that hung heavily in the air. They watched people rush by, heads down, wrapped in their own worlds. Sarah could feel the weight of what they had to face together. The fear of being hurt again, that clawing feeling that had lived in her gut for years as they approached their apartment. A thought jolted her. What if Alex really was different? What if this time could be the start of something new? She found herself considering the possibilities, though the skepticism remained like a steadfast shadow. They entered their small home, the familiar scent of coffee mingling with the fresh laundry scent from earlier. It brought a rush of comfort. Ethan dropped his backpack on the table. Can I ask you something, Mom? Of course, she replied, as she hung her coat. She couldn't help but notice the eagerness in his voice. What if he doesn't slip up? Ethan's eyes sparkled with hope. What if we're a family again? What will that be like? In that moment, Sarah felt a chill. She could see Ethan on the edge of belief, a child longing for something so simple yet so complicated. I want to say it'll be amazing, she said, but we have to remember to keep our feet on the ground. Yeah, you're right, he said, frowning slightly. But a little hope doesn't hurt. Does it? No, it doesn't. As they settled in, Sarah felt the weight of the day pull at her. She wanted to shield Ethan from disappointment, yet how could she when her own heart ached for a family to fully embrace? Later that evening, after dinner, Sarah found herself staring out the window at the street below. The city lights twinkled like stars illuminating the darkness. What would tomorrow bring? Her thoughts turned back to Alex. Would he show up? Or would this just be another episode in their ongoing struggle? The doorbell rang, cutting through her contemplation. She exchanged a glance with Ethan, who looked both excited and apprehensive. It's him, he whispered, bouncing on his toes. Let me handle this, Sarah cautioned, her stomach a flutter of nerves. She opened the door slowly, every creak of the hinges echoing the unresolved tension. When she saw his face, her breath caught. A look of determination mingled with uncertainty was etched onto Alex's features. Can I come in? He asked, his voice calm yet laced with urgency. Sarah hesitated, but Ethan pushed past her, beaming with unspoiled enthusiasm. Yes, please. With a last glance to ensure her heart was steady, she stepped aside, allowing Alex to enter. Whatever happened next, they were about to cross a line she had fought to keep drawn for years. But as the door clicked shut behind him, she couldn't shake the feeling that life was about to change in ways they couldn't yet comprehend. Would they be facing hope? Or was this a prelude to another heartbreak? As she watched the three of them hover on the cusp of something new, uncertainty loomed, the kind that could either heal them or tear them apart. What choice would life make for them now? Ethan's excitement filled the room like the scent of freshly baked cookies. So, Dad, what do you want to talk about? He bounced on his feet, his innocence lighting up the heaviness of the moment. Alex shifted nervously, his hands stuffed in his pockets. Can we sit down? His voice was steady, but Sarah could see the uncertainty in his eyes. It reminded her just how fragile this entire situation was. They all shuffled over to the small living room, the shared space transforming into a spotlight of emotion as they settled onto the faded couch. Sarah fought to find the right words. you wanted to talk about? She prompted, her heart hammering in her chest. I wanted to start fresh, Alex said, his gaze darting between Sarah and Ethan. I know I haven't been the best father. The past few years have been complicated. But I want to try. I want to be there for you both. Ethan's face lit up for a moment. Pure joy painted across his features. Really? You mean it? His voice wavered, torn between hope and wariness. Sarah held her breath, the reality of the situation crashing over her like a tide. Did she dare let herself hope? Ethan, let us just listen, she said softly, hoping to maintain balance. After all, words had always danced too freely for Alex, but actions were the true measure of change. I've been working on myself, Alex continued, his voice dropping to a whisper. I've been through therapy, and I've realized how wrong I was. I'm ready to make amends, to be the dad you deserve. Ethan's brow furrowed for a moment. But how can we know you won't, disappear again? The question hung heavily in the air. Sarah felt the sting of memories, painful reminders of broken promises and vanished futures. Ethan, it's okay to ask those things, she said, proud of her son for seeking clarity. Because this time I'm different, Alex pressed. I've had a lot of time to think about what I lost, and I don't want to lose you again. His eyes met Sarah's, full of determination and desperation. For a moment, Sarah was lost in the depths of his gaze. The man she once loved stared back at her, still bearing the weight of their shared history, yet somehow transformed. Was he sincere? Could she trust him? Her heart ached for her son, who wore hope like a heavy coat, so eager, yet so vulnerable. Trust is something you need to earn back, she said, her voice steady even if her heart wavered. You want to come back into our lives? You have to prove it not just with words, but with actions. Ethan nodded vigorously, his youthful fervor pushing forward. Yeah. You have to show us it's for real. Alex swallowed hard, his jaw tightening. I will. Just give me a chance. In that moment, Sarah felt a wave of protectiveness wash over her. She wanted to believe, to let that flicker of hope grow. But she couldn't ignore the insistent whisper inside. What if this was just another false start? Let us take it one step at a time, she finally said, the weight of her heart heavy yet resolute. You need to show us that you mean what you say. We'll see how things go. Ethan's eyes sparkled, caught somewhere between belief and caution. Okay, Dad. One step at a time. The smile on his face magicked away years of hesitation. But for Sarah, uncertainty remained. She felt a grip of anxiety clutching her heart, but the warmth of Ethan's joy was hard to dismiss. As laughter filled the room where silence once lingered, a sliver of hope edged forward. Yet, in the back of her mind, questions festered. Had they truly just opened the door to a new beginning? Or were they teetering on the edge of repeating past mistakes? Eventually, her gaze returned to Alex. What does that really mean for us, moving forward? She asked, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and curiosity. Tomorrow, she decided, she would watch and wait, eyes wide open, ready for whatever choice life was about to unveil. Would this be their moment of redemption, or a step into the unknown? As dawn broke through the horizon, the sun cast a warm glow over the small town. Sarah stood near the kitchen window, the morning light illuminating her resolve. Today marked a new chapter, one infused with both hope and uncertainty. She took a deep breath, the scent of fresh coffee filling the air as Ethan rushed past her, bouncing with energy, ready for the day ahead. Mom, can we look for things to do with Dad today, please? Ethan's eagerness radiated off him like the sun's rays, his innocent enthusiasm drawing a smile from Sarah despite the weight on her heart. Her son's innocent plea tugged at her. She could see glimpses of the possibility that lay ahead. All right, but remember it's just a start, she replied, her words a mixture of caution and warmth. The memory of their first meeting replayed in her mind like a movie, Alex's eyes filled with desperation and hope, an echo of the man he had once been. Could he be that man again? Each day brought fresh concerns. What if he slipped? Was it wise to dive headfirst into this unfathomable territory? But the hopeful spark in Ethan's eyes gave her courage as they prepared for their day together. Sarah's phone buzzed, breaking her chain of thoughts. It was a message from Alex, bright and filled with determination. I can't wait to see you both again. Let us make today a day to remember. Taking one last look at Ethan, who was too excited to notice her inner turmoil, Sarah texted him back. See you soon. The three of them met at a local park, laughter and lively chatter blending in the backdrop. Alex was waiting at a bench, his demeanor warmer than their last meeting, filled with an infectious energy. Hey, you too. He waved, his smile wide, a hint of genuine enthusiasm that felt different. Ethan rushed over, vibrant with excitement. Can we play catch? He held a football up, bouncing on the balls of his feet. Absolutely. Let us see who can throw farthest. Alex replied, a twinkle of playfulness in his eye. As they played, Sarah observed the warmth blossoming between them. Alex's laughter with Ethan felt refreshing, as if the years of pain were dissolving in the morning sun. Yet the shadow of doubt lingered in her mind, whispering warnings. She couldn't let her guard down. But as the hours passed, the trio shared stories, laughter flowing like the gentle breeze whispering through tree branches. Moments unfolded like a dream, a far cry from the man she'd once known. Later, as they sat on the grass, wind tousling their hair, Sarah felt a flicker of hope ignite. Thank you for making today great, she said softly, crossing her fingers nervously. I didn't realize how much I missed this, Alex replied, his voice filled with sincerity. Ethan, you made it special. The genuine tone melted Sarah's heart a little more. Can we do this again? Ethan asked, sincerity etched across his small face. Maybe even with Mom too. Of course. Alex nodded eagerly, eyes sparkling as brightly as his son's. But Sarah felt a pang of protectiveness. Every bit of joy was mixed with the ever-present fear of disappointment. Later in the day, as they strolled back toward their cars, Sarah caught Alex's gaze. Can we talk? She finally ventured, her voice steady but her heart racing. Absolutely, he nodded, sensing the importance of the moment. They found a bench far enough to have a breath of privacy. I'm glad we're trying, she began, her heart pounding in her chest. But I need to know, what does this mean to you? He leaned closer, sincerity radiating from him like warmth. It means building something real. I want to prove to both of you that I'm committed, no more empty promises. The weight of those words settled between them, heavy yet filled with an ember of hope. Sarah met his gaze, searching for truth. Was it really enough? We can't go backward, Alex. I won't let Ethan get hurt again. I understand, he replied softly. I'd never forgive myself if I let you down again. This is my chance for a different future. For you both. The determination simmering in his eyes sparked something within Sarah, a fusion of hope and hesitation. This could be a fresh start, but the unpredictability of new beginnings had its challenges. Perhaps we can focus on little victories? She suggested, her heart warming slightly. One day at a time would work for me. I'd really like that, he said, his voice low, but full of conviction. You both mean the world to me, and I want to show you that change is real. Just then, Ethan ran back, happiness dripping from every word. I want to go get ice cream. Can we? Sounds great. Sarah smiled, unable to suppress her affection for her son. As Alex observed the interaction, his gaze softened, almost reverent. As they walked toward the nearby ice cream shop, laughter echoed around them, dissolving the remnants of tension and doubt. Each step forward felt like a gentle push into something new, a possibility that glowed like sunshine piercing through clouds. Days turned into months, and each moment spent together was laced with small victories. They shared more laughter, more ice cream runs, and more heartfelt conversations. Trust, once buried beneath the weight of regret, began to blossom again, warmed by the light of sincerity and intention. Sarah observed the bond growing between Alex and Ethan. In simple moments of family game night, a weekend hike, she found her heart slowly softening, captivated by Alex's determination to be present. Yet, reminders of the past still lurked in shadows. Late-night thoughts would creep in. Was she simply delaying heartbreak? One evening, after a particularly joyful day at the park, Sarah finally gathered her courage to voice her fears. Alex, do you think we could ever really be a family again? Alex paused, the air thick with gravity. It'll take time, Sarah. But I promise to earn that trust. The sincerity in his voice wrapped around her heart like a warm embrace, allowing for the flicker of hope within her to spark brighter. The weeks rolled by, slowly unveiling the power of healing, vulnerability, and second chances. Sarah learned to navigate this new reality, allowing herself to trust again, even as remnants of doubt lingered at the edges. Every day felt more empowering. Together they crafted moments that painted their new beginning, the kind of future they all wanted. With resilience, laughter, and the courage to trust, the family began to reclaim the beauty of broken pieces, forming something beautiful finally. On a quiet evening bathed in soft light, Sarah knelt next to Ethan's bed, brushing his hair from his forehead. Do you think we're really a family now? He smiled sleepily. Definitely, Mom. I love how we laugh together now. Feels real. With warmth flooding her, Sarah pressed a tender kiss on his forehead, her heart swelling with affection and hope. I love you, buddy. We're going to be okay. Promise. Outside, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a radiant glow on the world below. Sarah gazed out the window, seeing the path ahead, the choices made, the walls still standing, and the promise of tomorrow, the kind filled with love, laughter, and endless possibilities. This was where she belonged. This was home. And in that moment of serenity, Sarah knew they had taken the leap one fully into hope, believing in the promise of a brighter tomorrow. Let us embrace transformation, choose love, and fight for what matters. So here's the thing. You need to subscribe now to my channel. Don't wait not even one more second. If you love stories that inspire and transform, this is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help us grow. Comment below your thoughts and feelings about this journey. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see the beauty of second chances. Together, let us spread the message that hope can lead to incredible transformations.